going on, everyone? I hope you are all well. Welcome back to another video. Can you believe that Euro 2020 semi-finals are actually here? How quick has that gone? Obviously, we've got Italy versus Spain, England versus Denmark. Let's get into it. I mean, what a tournament! Before we get into the semi-finals, even though I've just said let's get into it, the tournament has been it's been such a good tournament, and what always worries me about major tournaments, even in Champions League, not just international things like that, is the group stages are normally the most exciting because teams are willing to go for it. They've got to go for it, otherwise they end up out. And then what you see happen in the round of 16 is teams getting a bit more defensively solid. They've had a bit of time to gel, and then they start playing it safe because they don't want to get knocked out. But that just hasn't seemed to happen this tournament. We've had this tournament has took a turn that no one expected, and every single YouTuber or people who makes I'm definitely not classing myself as a YouTuber, but anyone who makes videos and did a Euro prediction video like I did, I don't think anyone's done very well. No one could have done well because no one expected France, Portugal, and Germany and the Netherlands to be out in the round of 16 or quarterfinals. Like, in fact, they all went out in the round of 16, didn't they? Like, no one would have ever even comprehended that. No, that wouldn't have even gone into anyone's mind. And if it has, then I'd be amazed. But yeah, what a tournament it has been, and we've got some brilliant games coming up. There's only three games left. Three games, yeah, that's right. I could not do maths, and I was thinking for a second that we had two legs, so I got confused. We definitely don't. Italy, Spain. This is going to be such an interesting game. I'll touch on Spain first because I think Spain are really interesting. Before the tournament started, I made it very clear, I think it was in my Euro prediction video, that Spain, and I think a lot of people have said this, it is very obvious, it is very clear that they do not have a clinical striker. Alvaro Morata is shit. I'm sorry if there are any Spanish people watching, I'm sorry if you're offended. I don't think he's a very good football player. I just don't. I've seen him have one or two good games, and he's played quite a few games. I just don't think he's very good, and it's what Spain are missing. In the days before, I think I was even born, Puerto Negro for Spain, and then a bit earlier, you got your Fernando Torres, David Villa, and then even earlier, Diego Costa, and now they haven't got that. Um, but what was interesting in the first group stages, I think you saw that from Spain, that they didn't have that clinical edge. They weren't getting the goals, and then all of a sudden in two games they scored 10 goals. Like that's mental. From going from not having that clinical striker and not scoring many goals to all of a sudden you've got 10 goals in two games. But what's mental about that is what I like about Spain is that in them games they've not necessarily needed a clinical striker because you've got players from the other parts of the pitch who normally wouldn't come up with goals, coming up with goals. It isn't just a striker, and I love that. But the problem is for me when you're playing a team like Italy, they're not going to allow you to do that. Against a big team, you need a clinical striker because you're not going to get many chances. Against Croatia, against I think it was Slovakia, they would get everyone on the pitch was getting chances, and that's why they were getting so many goals. Italy will not allow that. They won't. There's not a chance, even with the dinosaurs at the back, which I feel bad for saying because in the Euros, I've mentioned the prediction video again, but I made it very clear that Italy have got a fabulous mix of youth and entertaining, energetic players mixed in with the older heads of experience. Even the likes of Verratti's got a little bit of experience, but Chiellini and Bonucci are just a fine wine because a centre back is a position where as you get older, it gets harder. Of course it does. You're not as quick. I mean, I don't. Chiellini and Bonucci were never quick anyway, but when you're in your late 30s, you're going to get a lot slower. You're not as agile. You're not as switched on. But there's just them to understand the game of football like no one else. They read the game so well. They've honestly blown me away this tournament. So, Chiellini and Bonucci, I am sorry. I'm saying it as if they're watching. I'm sorry for calling you, like, I think I called Chiellini about 92, because you've been brilliant, both of them, this tournament. So, fair play. And, looking at Italy's midfield as well, Barella's been fabulous. I'm a Liverpool fan, but looking for a Gini Wijnaldum replacement. I would snap someone's hand off for Barella after the way I've seen him play. There's no one else I'm even thinking of. Obviously, we're being linked with Renato Sanchez. There's a few about Saul Niguez. But Barella, for me, is fabulous. He's been brilliant. Locatelli, again, been brilliant. Jorginho showed something different to what he normally does at Chelsea. He's been a lot better than he is at Chelsea. I don't really rate him when I see him play for Chelsea. But he's looked really good. And obviously, you've got Verratti as well, who we all know how good Verratti is. The problem with Verratti is that he's normally bloody injured. That man picks up more injuries than someone who picks up a lot of injuries. I can't think of a football player who picks up injuries. Xherdan Shaqiri, he's always bloody injured. There we go. That took a bloody while. So yeah, I'll be honest. I think Italy could run away with this. Spain's defence hasn't been anywhere near what it can be this tournament. That I think they are defensively got at, and you've got Spain have obviously got Sergio Busquets, who again is another one of them players who isn't quick, is getting on, but he reads the game so well. But if you can get at him, if you can put a tackling on him, because he isn't very physical, he doesn't like the dirty side of the game, and we all know Italy. You saw Immobile. Italy are amazing at that game. There's no one better than Italy than the rough putting a tackle and leaving something on someone. I think if Italy can do that, I think they'll wipe the floor with Spain. I honestly don't see Spain doing much in this game. I see it as I think it'll be a 3-1, 3-0. That's honestly how I feel. I'm not rating Spain as much as maybe I should, because they're in a semi-final and they've done well. I'm waffling because I do not want to speak about the next semi-final. England versus Denmark. I'm a dad. I've got a daughter, and I can happily say, other than her being born, I've never been this nervous. And that might sound like an over exaggeration, but I think as England fans, we sing Southgate, you turn me on. We sing It's Coming Home. We see 3 lines. We sing all that. But the past has planted a little seed of doubt in our brains. Euro 96, 2010 being such a failure, 2014 being such a failure, 2016 being such a failure, 2018 not being a failure but not being what it could have been. Now I think a lot of England fans are worried that 2021 might not be what it could have been. Now it should be. Because England are good enough to beat Denmark. The worry is, Denmark are good enough to beat England. Now in my opinion, Ukraine were never good enough to beat England. They didn't show anything. Little glimmers here and there, but nothing for long periods of time. Denmark can beat England. I'm not saying they will, but they can. And that's what scares me. Plus the story of Denmark that they've got, obviously with what happened with Eriksen, brilliant to see him out and about again. I think whatever happens in this tournament, that's the story people need to talk about. The fact that Eriksen is healthy, that's the best thing that can come from these Euros. I'm worried that we're gonna go to a back 5 again. Now, I didn't really like it against Germany, but it came off, so I can't complain. Um, and I'm sure people, if you're new to this channel or you've watched me before. I made a video. I think it was one of my first videos. It might be like my third or fourth video. I made a video saying, I think it was titled "Sack Gareth Southgate Now." And at the time, I had plenty of reason to believe that Gareth Southgate was not the man to lead England to any sort of success. His CV is still well, not now. I can't say it's non-existent, but then it was not really anything to shout about for him to even get the England job. I thought he was tactically naive. I thought he was way too defensive. Um, he's exactly what the FA want in. I thought he was a bit of a yes man. I also said in that video that I'd love to be proven wrong, and that if I was, I would hold my hands up. They're up. My hands are up. I got it wrong with Southgate. Now, do I still do I do not think for a second that he's an amazing manager, one of the best managers in the world, a brilliant manager, or even a brilliant coach. But what he's managed to do with this team is bring them together, and that is what is the most. Forget tactics, forget the formation or who you're picking to play. The cohesion in that group of players is more important than anything, and that's what Southgate's done so well. And I think that's why England are where they are now. And what the problem with managers in the past, the likes of Capello, the likes of Sven, they have bowed down to the media. They've bowed down to pundits saying you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and they've felt the pressure. Southgate hasn't done that. And I've seen a lot of people, obviously, when the formations come out, we're all sat there going, when the formations come out, when the team sheets come out, sorry, everyone's sat there going, oh, Grealish has got to start, Foden's got to start, everyone's going to have them debates, everyone's going to disagree. But in my opinion, the problem England have had in so many years gone by is that golden generation that England had, especially the midfield, you've got Beckham, Lampard, Scholes, Steven Gerrard. We tried to cram every single one of them into one team. It didn't work. Not once. It never worked. We tried to cram so many players into a team that you were playing Scholes on left mid, Gerrard on left wing. It never worked. And now a lot of people are saying, if Southgate was a good manager, you've got to find a way to get Foden, Grealish and Mount into a team together because of how good they are. Why? Why? We've had managers who have had more. Fabio Capello's a better manager than Gareth Southgate. His CV says that he's a better manager than Gareth Southgate. I don't think you can even dispute that. And he tried it, and it didn't work. Sven tried it, and it didn't work. So why carry on trying something? Gareth Southgate's changed it up. And that is what I like. He isn't pondering to people and just going, yeah, I'll do that. He isn't just trying to fit all the best team. Obviously, you want to put your best team out, but he's not trying to get every single attacking player into the position, because in the past we've seen with England, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked. There is proof for that. And that is what I am loving from Southgate from this tournament. I'm past caring now with what team he puts out, how we play. We've just got to win. I'd play a back nine. If we win, I don't care. And if we win this tournament, I swear to God, the Queen, if you're watching, the Queen's definitely not watching this. What am I chatting about? But if you are, Lizzie, Elizabeth, knighthood that man. Get him on his knees, do your thing with the fucking sword, and just, he'll be England manager forever. I don't want anyone else there. Yes, this is a complete. I've done a full 180 on how I thought about Gareth Southgate, but it's coming home. See you in a bit. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.